So this is a new Gamera movie coming out 9 years after Gamera vs. Zigra. This has gotta be good, right? I mean, they've had 9 years, so they have to give us something truly amazing with this movie, can they? So this is Gamera the Super Monster, the 8th Gamera movie, and the only movie made during the 1980s. The story is about an alien spaceship that hovers over the Earth as it tries to find these space women that are hidden among Japan. They're disguised as real women, but they're secretly aliens with superpowers. Kind of like Superman, pretty much. In fact, it's very much like Superman if you watch this movie. The aliens threaten them, saying, if you do not turn yourselves in, we have monsters at our disposal to send down to Earth and destroy you. Meanwhile, there's this kid who has a fascination with Gamera and gets a turtle as a gift from one of the space girls who owns a pet shop. He lets the turtle free, and then somehow, don't ask, the turtle turns into Gamera, and it's up to Gamera to stop the alien forces and destroy all of the monsters. And all the monsters include Barugan, Gauss, Virus, Gurin, Jiger, and Zigra. Basically all 6 monsters that Gamera has fought. Which sounds awesome when you think about it. This is like the Gamera equivalent of Destroy All Monsters. You got all the monsters Gamera's ever faced in one movie, and that just sounds totally awesome. It would be a lot better if all these monsters didn't appear through stock footage. So it's more like the Gamera equivalent of All Monsters Attack. Every monster in this movie appears via stock footage from the past few movies, which, on one hand, it's a good movie to watch if you don't want to really watch all these cheesy Gamera movies, because with this one, you get to see all the best parts of the movies. You don't have to endure all the bullshit like Gamera being taken out of the movie for a while. You don't have to endure the military figuring out what's going on. You just get to see non-stop monster action. But if you've seen the Gamera movies in chronological order like I did, or more like the order they were made, then it can get a little tired. But at the same time, I gotta admit, I actually like this movie more than Gamera vs. Barugan and the last 2 Gamera movies. Surprisingly, I know. With this movie, it is kind of cheap that they just use a lot of stock footage of Gamera and the other monsters. But at the same time, there's an element of enjoyment to be had. I mean, one thing, it's non-stop action, but also there are some really trippy moments in this movie. There are some weird sequences with animation. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's almost like you're on drugs in a way. And it just has some other weird, bizarre moments. One thing that irritates me about the movie is that because all the monsters appear through stock footage, except Gamera, there actually is some new footage of Gamera, but unfortunately it's just a little still prop of Gamera like this, and all he does is just open his mouth up and down occasionally like this. That's it. Like, no eye movements, no hands moving, no fire coming out of this Gamera prop. It's just a still prop with his mouth moving occasionally. But we also have, as I mentioned, the space girls are pretty much like Superman in a way. And then the enemy spaceship, is very much like a Star Destroyer, straight out of Star Wars. I mean, look at this thing. It's straight out of Star Wars. And to top it all off, the first time we see this ship, it's a shot ripped straight out of the opening of the first Star Wars, where the ship's just hovering over the camera. It's just, like, I'm surprised nobody was sued over this. Like, you could clearly tell it's a Star Destroyer. And of course, with these older Gamera movies, you gotta have a little kid. And this one, he's not really that obnoxious at all. Although there's one thing that irritates me. He keeps referring to the space girls as sister. I mean, that's what the subtitles say. Every time he said that after about the 3rd time, I kept shouting out, "We're not related!" Like, he would say, "Sister, we're not related!" I don't know if that's actually in the... It must be in the original Japanese language, because I know I've heard the Japanese word for sister tossed around in the past Gamera movies I've seen and a couple of Godzilla movies. And for some reason, there are points where the kid sounds like he smoked about 6 packs of cigarettes a day. Because he'll be like, Gamera! Gauss is attacking the city! Stop him! Oh, how does Christian Bale do that? And then the most bizarre thing of all, like the thing that kind of had me laughing, was there's a part where Gamera goes on a rampage. The aliens have mind control over him, and obviously it's stock footage from the first Gamera movie and any other time Gamera has destroyed buildings. But there's a part where they, like, do a close-up on Gamera's feet walking by, and we see this poster kind of wobble and then fall to the ground. And we zoom in, and it's a poster of a monster that looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright, it's not. I think it was meant to be a joke, like a way of Daiei, like, taking a jab at the Godzilla series, and I'm, like, saw that, I'm like, yeah, who had the last laugh in that scenario, Daiei? I mean, it's cute that you tried, but Godzilla's always going to be number one. Sorry. But I'll just wrap things up here. This movie, if you've never seen any of the older Gamera movies, this is the one I could recommend outside of Gamera vs. Giran. But if you've seen all these movies before, give it about a year and then watch this movie, because it's just stock footage, pretty much. All the monsters appear through stock footage, which could be a really cool idea if they actually brought in some new suits and just had multiple suit actors to do it, but no, it's just stock footage. So, how do I rate this thing? Because technically, because of the stock footage use, I can't say it's a good movie. So, I'm going to say watch at your own risk. Again, if you've never seen the first 7 Gamera movies, then this is a good one to watch. If you have, then this is a little better than the last 2 movies, I think, but it's pretty much everything you've seen before. Literally. So that's my review of Gamera the Super Monster, and that concludes my review of the first 8 Gamera movies, or part of the Showa series. So we have 4 more Gamera movies left to go. This is where things get really good. But Friday, I'm going to throw a little curveball. I'm not going to say what the curveball is, but just stay tuned on Friday to see what comes next. But until then, leave a comment telling me what you thought of the movie. If you've seen it, like, subscribe, go check out my video blog channel. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and go like my Facebook page. This is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.